Okay, so I was planning on doing an entirely different video, but then I come across this article, 10 Batman movie quotes that aged poorly. It was released August 16 by a guy named Ben Gibbons. Okay, so first up, number 10, So That's What It Feels Like, by Batman in The Dark Knight. Okay, right off the bat. It's not Returns. It's Rises. While this moment in The Dark Knight Rises isn't necessarily problematic, it serves to highlight one of the silliest and most bizarre moments from the Nolan trilogy. When Catwoman disappears from the rooftop in the blink of an eye, Batman turns around to find her gone. This is something he has done several times in the series, and as a meta joke, it just feels a little silly. What's wrong with a little humor? How is it aged poorly? I mean, a lot of movies have used that joke now, and to be honest, that's probably the only time that joke has actually been good. Yeah, I admit it. I do not like The Dark Knight Rises, but that might be the only part of the movie that I legitimately thought was okay. The tone of the Nolan trilogy is dark and gritty, but this moment feels out of place and belittling to the heroic character. How is it belittling? Batman has always had a sense of humor. Yes, it's dark and all that stuff, but come on, it's a guy dressed up as a bat whose main enemy is a clown. Like, have a sense of humor. It highlights an element that has always been kind of goofy and more akin to a magician's trick than a Dark Avenger. In 2012, this line may have felt like it worked, but with time to reflect, it feels lacking and out of place in the series. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy has had silly lines. Like, come on, you're gonna tell me you didn't get a chuckle out of "Does It Come in Black? Let Her Go." Poor choice of words. But he's not. Who? The driver. Come on, you're telling me you didn't get a laugh out of all those? It's just a small joke. I mean, you're making it sound like he looked at the camera, tilted his head, and said, "So that's what it feels like," and suddenly there's an audience. That's what you're making it sound like. Okay, next up, number 9. The ground. It's all metal. It's full of holes. You know, holy. From Robin and Batman Forever. However, the older movies are really where holes start to appear. And ironically, that's exactly what Robin points out in 1995 from Forever. It makes sense that the Tim Burton movies were caught up in this weird limbo of trying to emulate the goofy slapstick humor of the old Adam West TV show. Batman Forever and Batman and Robin were Schumacher! And combined it with a more twisted style and story, but this joke just falls flat. Modern audiences are prone to picking apart the content they consume, and this joke is unlikely to muster anything but groans from an audience today. What? Why? How? Out of all the lines from Batman Forever, this is the one that gets the most groans? Like, hot entrance. It's the car, right? Chicks love the car. It's too obvious, it feels lazy, and it simply feels dull. Well, geez, Ben, tell us how you really feel. The movie is also home to a great number of moments and elements that feel like they are stuck in between two worlds. Tim Burton's iconic style isn't very present, aside from some bright colors and rushed makeup. What? Huh? Have you ever seen a Tim Burton anything? He is known for having weird and bizarre, dark and creepy. And the comedy isn't fully developed. You got a point there. Had the movie tried to learn fully into a dark and gritty story, like the Nolan trilogy, that could have worked, and likewise, a comedy angle might have played in its favor, but being on the fence is unforgivable. How dare thee try to add humor and comedy to a Batman? What? I'm not saying Batman can't be dark and gritty and all that stuff, and be adult, but come on, it's a comic book character. What are you talking about? Batman should be both dark and funny. That's why the Batman animated show was so good. It had a dark tone, but it still had a ton of humor in it. That's why it is, to this day, the most praised Batman anything. And furthermore, what the hell do you mean walks the fence? Like, okay, Batman Forever did have some moments, but it was still leaning more towards goofy and stuff. Number 8, I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you. Batman from Batman Begins. Honestly, this one feels okay. This one brings up a good point. Yeah, okay, 1 point for Ben. Okay, next. You're catnip to a girl like me. Handsome, days, and to die for. Catwoman, Batman Returns. Batman Returns is one of the movies where sexual tension and lust between the Batman and Catwoman are on full display. Michelle Pfeiffer puts on a show as the deviant Selina Kyle, opposite to Michael Keaton's bachelor Bruce Wayne. However, some of Pfeiffer's lines feel odd and extreme that it's uncomfortable to watch in a modern setting. I mean, she's using her beauty as a weapon. She's trying to get under Batman's skin. The thing is, Selina has essentially had a mental breakdown after an attempt on her life. She then reshapes herself to become a menacing villain. With that in mind, her lines where she appears to be pursuing Batman and trying to spark something between them become less flirtatious and more damaging. She is not in full control of her facilities, and if Batman were to exploit this, there will be no excuse for his negligence. I seriously don't understand what you're trying to say here. Like, yeah, she's not in full control, and if Batman were to exploit this, there'll be no excuse. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Batman knows this. Like, I'm pretty sure throughout the movie, he tries to talk to her. He tries to help her. I don't really see how the line itself is bad. I'm confused. Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Less conventional choice, but it also highlights how the Tim Burton movies somewhat missed the mark on capturing Batman. At one point in the film, the Joker comes face to face with Bruce Wayne, and the interaction is interesting. Whether Bruce is simply trying to outmaneuver the dangerous Joker, he begins relaying a story about a man who wasn't completely in control of his senses. The story is simply a distraction, so Bruce can get an object to use as a weapon. However, he grabs a fire poker, begins wielding it, and shouts this line at the Joker. It feels like a bizarre version of the Dark Knight. Maybe it was intended to be a clever and tactical, but it just ends up with Bruce laid out on the floor and his date being taken away. Ben, if you do something known as watch the fucking movie, Joker didn't take her away. Joker was just being creepy. He just came in, was talking, then I think Bruce came in, he did the whole get nuts thing, and then Joker shot him. And they just left. She didn't get taken away. Wait, hold on. I just realized something. That's what happened in Batman Forever. Yeah, Two-Face shot Bruce. I think it was the bullet just grazed his forehead just right, so it didn't kill him, but it did knock him out. And then his girlfriend in that movie, she was taken away. I think Ben is getting his Batman movies confused. Number 5, always confusing your pistols with your privates. The Republican National Anthem. This line is kind of iconic for the fact that Catwoman calls out the people around her and highlights their infectiousness and tendency to be thoughtless. By pointing out the flaws of the armed men around her, she manages to set them off and control the situation. However, it is also a somewhat demeaning line. Provides an important dialogue moment that both characterizes Catwoman and potentially gets a laugh, but it feels cheap and pointed. The days of using genitals as a means of demeaning people should be in the past, and Catwoman's sensibilities are certainly not up to speed. Oh, I'm so sorry if the villainous cat lady burglar is not being too nice. Alright, number 4. Can somebody tell me what kind of world we live in? There was a line from the Joker that may appear more tone-deaf today than topical. Okay, the Joker loves attention. Considering they dress up in clown garb and makeup and create incredible spectacles, this is no surprise. And obviously, as a villain, they don't tend to take into account other people's feelings while spewing out their what the fuck that word is. However, when the Joker aggressively calls out Batman for getting attention in the press due to being a man going around town in fancy dress, it feels hollow. This doesn't stop the Joker from getting attention, and the entire of Gotham is filled with characters that appear on the front page because of their wild costumes. But beyond this, the Joker is calling out someone else for dressing up, while he chooses to wear the most outrageous suits to draw attention. It's hypocritical and pointless. I'm coughing because I'm sick of your bullshit. Oh, that's the joke. He's called the Joker. It's the that's the joke. He's uh uh all right, let's get through this. He has the power to wipe out the entire human race. Batman, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Okay, I'm just gonna skip this one because honestly, there's not really much I can say. Plus, this is another one he actually does bring up a good point, and so yeah, I agree that that line was kind of stupid. I wouldn't exactly say it's outdated though, but yeah, moving on. Second to last one, because he's the hero Gotham deserves, James Gordon, The Dark Knight. This line is also iconic in several ways, but that does not change the weird, warped logic that exists in the context. James Gordon summarizes what Batman is to Gotham, and the complex relationship that exists between two codependent and broken things. Gotham is full of crime and danger at every turn, meanwhile Batman calls it home and hopes to be able to make a difference through his own brand of vigilante justice. However, Gordon takes the statement a couple of steps further. While he recognizes the role Batman plays and his connection to Gotham, he goes on to declare that they will hunt him. This is once again a scary and odd statement. It's one thing for the police to put a warrant out for Batman due to his illegal activities, but to hunt him is entirely different. And Gordon goes on to say, because he can take it. What on earth is happening? He doesn't want to catch him, but it's important to bully and chase him down. It's all weird and feels uncomfortable. Oh, God. Oh. I find it very ironic that you brought up the word context when you're clearly not putting this quote in the context it was said. Joker manipulates Harvey Dent to become Two-Face, and so Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face and becomes this cruel, evil villain, and the whole point of the Joker was to say that no matter how good you are, you can become a monster just like him. And Harvey Dent was seen as the White Knight of Gotham. And so when Harvey Dent became Two-Face, it basically proved Joker's point. Joker wanted to prove that the system, the powers that be, whatever you want to call it, that it can be corrupted and that the people that they claim to protect are in danger. So after Harvey Dent was killed, Batman thought it would be best that they keep the whole Two-Face thing a secret. Because to them, they figured that if people found out that Harvey Dent did all this stuff, that they would believe, yeah, the Joker's right. But Batman wanted people to believe that Harvey Dent was a symbol of hope, of justice, of less crime. So Batman took the blame, told Gordon to make up this fabricated story that he, Batman, did all the weird stuff Two-Face did, and that Harvey was being a hero, but then Batman killed him in cold blood. That's the story they came up with. Because if people found out Harvey Dent was Two-Face, they would lose all hope. And that's the context this quote was said in. Gordon's son walks up to him and he asks why is Batman running away. Gordon explains to his son that the police department basically has to hunt down Batman because he took the blame for Harvey Dent. He's explaining that he has to tell the police that Batman is a criminal and that the police department has to hunt him down, that they can't work with him anymore. But Gordon knows that he's actually good. And so when he says, because he can take it, he's saying that he knows that the police department can never catch him. He knows Batman is on a different level. He knows that Batman can take it. That's why he's saying it. Okay, I'll admit I went a little off there during my explanation. But you want to know what I did that you didn't do, Ben? I actually explained the quote. You did not even write down where this quote was said. What part of the movie? Who is Gordon telling this to? What happened before or after? What happened, huh? Okay, this is it, the last one. Ben's number one most outdated Batman movie quote. I have made fun and pointed out the flaws of every single one of his choices outside of 2, but this one is so unbelievably stupid. That is the sole reason I wanted to make this video in the first place. Okay? Here we go. Just the I've been looking for. From Penguin and Batman Returns. Does this line even need explanation? Penguin is an odd character who is depicted as being subhuman. From his years being raised in the sewer by animals and his grotesque appearance and nature, Penguin is supposed to be vile in Burton's Batman Returns. Danny DeVito does a spectacular job on delivering the brief, but there are lines that felt like a step too far. When Penguin comes face to face with Catwoman, this is the line he utters. However, this cheap and lazy joke feels uncomfortable and slimy on every level. I'm sorry. Did the crazy, evil, criminal kingpin that was going to drown infant children, did he make you uncomfortable? Oh, I am so sorry that the vile monster of a human being who keeps human body parts in his lair and shot one of his own men in cold blood made you feel uncomfortable. I am so sorry. Yes, it adds to his characterization as a vile sewer rat, but is it necessary? Okay, granted, if that line was taken out of the movie, would it affect the movie in any way? No. It doesn't really add much of anything. By the time this line is said, it's already been established that Penguin is an evil, creepy monster. So, yeah. Did this line need to be said? No. You have a point on that one. However, your reasoning behind this quote being bad is completely stupid. Did the evil villain make you feel uncomfortable? Fucking good! Does every villain need to be over-the-top disgusting? No. However, the Penguin in this movie is supposed to be that type of villain. He's supposed to be disgusting, creepy, a complete monster that's barely even human. That's what he's supposed to be. That's his character. So when you're saying that he said a line that's creepy and vile and that's wrong, look, if anyone else said this, if Batman said this, if Gordon said this, if Alfred said this, but if a villain, especially one like the Penguin, said it, and it made you uncomfortable, good! Good! When I first read this, I thought that Ben was just a little confused and got things mixed up. When I was talking about the Get Nuts line, I said that I think he got his movies mixed up because he said that the girlfriend got kidnapped by the end of it, and that's basically what happened in Batman Forever. So I think that he got his movies mixed up. And we go to the Jim Gordon quote because he's the hero Gotham deserves. That quote. Like I said, he barely even explained why that quote was said, where in the movie that quote was said, who Gordon was talking to. He didn't explain anything. So with that in mind, as well as the Get Nuts quote, I feel like Ben has never seen a Batman movie, and he has only seen a few clips and Wikipedia articles to try to form this thing. Well, I don't really have an idea of how to end this, so here's an edit I made.
Gonna do superhero landing. Wait for it.
Okay.